all things lovely. There's a lot of loveliness in golf. Early morning, dew, still on the golf course. Hagen said, be sure to take time and smell the flowers. That was Walter Hagen, a golfer, wasn't a philosopher. In this episode, we're going to talk about Paige Spiranac, who is, in the world of golf, one of the most recognizable. But we're not going to talk about loveliness or anything like that. We're going to flat out talk about her golf swing and what you can learn from it. And you can. It's a good golf swing. We're going to get right to Paige Spiranac. But before Paige, there was another woman. Her name was Laura. She was part of a history of very attractive, talented women golfers. The world of golf has a long history of celebrating the loveliness of women golfers. Golf Digest used to have an issue, the world's most beautiful golfer. That started back in the 50s. There was someone who wrote to the editor that in Atlanta he saw the most beautiful woman golfer in all the world. They ran about that, and then everybody started writing in, no, I know the most beautiful golfer. No, I know the most beautiful golfer. So they started having a contest. And then they decided to really go into it, and they selected excellent women golfers. Bettie Jean, one of the earliest, turned out later in life to be a funeral mortician. It all kind of came to a head with a young woman named Laura Baugh, who was just absolutely lovely. The two best golfers and the most famous that were the most beautiful golfer in the world, according to Golf Digest, Raymond Floyd's sister, Marlene, and the aforementioned Laura Baugh, not even Paige Spiranac, that has had a lifetime of being the most beautiful golfer in the world. Laura Baugh had a great golf swing, typical of women. Nice, smooth, supple swing, just feminine, and had a sweetness about her swing and also her personality. She married Bobby Cole, who finished second in the British Open. Great player, pro. Laura became so famous because she met Arnold Palmer early on, and he had her sign with his agency, with Mark McCormick, and she just became so famous, and she was able to really take care of her mom and herself and everything with all the money she made from so many endorsements. She married Bobby Cole twice. They have a son, Eric Cole, who's out on the PGA Tour. He may be the best looking guy out on the tour. Anyway, Laura is an inspiration to us all. She battled alcoholism, came back as really a great instructor. A story of highs and lows and triumph. Laura Baugh and a great swing. But now let's get to Paige Spiranac. I admire Paige Spiranac. Like Laura, golfer first, acclaim as a golfer, then noticed for loveliness, attractiveness, used that combination to become very, very successful. She's clever, she's intelligent, she has used this combination, unique combination to her of golf skill as well as her personal appeal to really become successful. You've got to admire anyone who has driven that hard. And then like Laura, she's had to deal with all the rest of that combination of being so successful, and you always have your critics, and then coming out of that and coming through that. These are two very similar stories and great stories. Unlike Laura Baugh, though, Paige does not have this sweet, smooth, rhythmic, girly swing. Well, women, don't get upset at me, but you do have a smoothness and a tempo that men don't have. Not with Paige. This young woman has power, power, power. We're going to take a close look at her swing. What do you think about Paige Spiranac? Is she an inspiration to you? Do you admire her? What's your opinion? First, Paige, number one, is an athlete. She was a gymnast before she became a golfer. Dad, good athlete. Mom was a ballerina. A lot of talent there. Paige does not have this. This is a. That's my imitation of a sweet swinging LPGA player. I'm not a sweet swinging LPGA player. Neither is Paige. Paige, because of her athletic background, That woman, she has powerful legs, and she uses the legs in her swing. She's got two parts to her swing. One is she has a wide takeaway, which is excellent, and then uses her legs in the swing. So she comes down and her legs thrust. She pushes off the ground and uses that leverage to really drive a golf ball. Wide takeaway and then using the legs. Man, I'll do that all the time. Woo. Back to Paige though. She swings like a powerful male golfer. And those of you who are seniors, you could probably beat Paige in arm wrestling, right? I mean, you're strong as she is. Get that lower body into the swing. Drive off the ground. Use the ground as your force and use those legs. The two things that I believe about senior golfers and new golfers, they like to use the upper body, not the lower body. In other words, you want to see a senior swing? Watch this. How often have you seen this swing? That's all upper body. And it's not very effective, it's not very powerful, and you don't hit the ball very straight. It's all about, we talked about wide takeaway that Paige has. Well, it's all about length and legs. It's length and legs, length and legs, length and legs, length and legs. And that ball was absolutely busted. I want to say thank you to Paige Spiranac and her great golf swing. Thank you, Paige.